group and just send a message, and then we'll go
Oh,
from there.
and now, folks, welcome to In the Paint. It is Monday night between the hours of 9:30. That's tonight, 9:30 to roughly 11 or something like that. It's time, like I said, it's time for the realest talking sports. We are real with In the Paint. There, I can't speak. My name is Rodney Jones, aka Angus Black, on Facebook. Um, Joining me is the man that created the show, Mr. Milwaukee Cunningham, and also joining us is my main man, the big brother Dom. Dominic is
Yes,
in the house,
Uncle
and
Uncle
also
Uncle Dom, as he is known in our text
exactly.
bubble.
Uncle Dom is here, and also joining us straight off his unsuccessful bowling championship tour.
Damn.
He, yo,
Reggie
wait, wait,
is with
wait,
us.
wait. He didn't show up like Phoenix.
He didn't show up.
Come on,
Uh,
man. I wait to hear from Reggie all week, and y'all want to throw.
You know what I'm saying? What's up, Reg? Your mic is
It
live.
does not work in my room. It
Huh?
used to be just Malachi that the stuff didn't work. Now it's not working in my room.
What the
that's a
hell was
first.
that? Okay. I
Hey,
didn't
he'll
understand that.
he'll come back when he comes back. Hopefully, Malachi, your room is clean and mom ain't beating that ass or whatever. But
Well,
Okay.
she is beating that ass.
Word. And thank you people for joining us. Chat room. There he is. And also live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, Twitch,
Twitch.
all that.
I'm on the mic, yo. Yeah, they heard it.
Yeah, we heard it.
Thank you. Hello. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Peace, sister.
How you
Hope she,
doing?
Peace.
I hope she didn't hear us say beat it that.
But don't worry about it. That's coming anyway.
You know?
Thank you. Discipline is the key. Discipline is the key.
So so here we go. We're gonna get into the sports talk real quick. We're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs, man. Game 7, between the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, and obviously, Milwaukee lost. Thank God, I'm happy. Definitely, I'm glad Boston won. People looked at me earlier today, was like, "Yo, you're not even a Boston fan." I was like, "Well, I was for last night." You know what I'm saying? So they beat the Bucks 4 games to 3. Yo, what's some
With,
of you
with,
guys' impressions on this series and the Boston Celtics?
Oh, Coach Bud being Coach Bud. He did it to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
they were winning and causing problems for Boston when they had the bigger lineup. When they started Giannis at the 3, Portis at the 4, Brook Lopez at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to me starting that lineup worked. They were killing Boston on the boards earlier in the series, and he went away from that and did some Bud fuckery.
Okay. Okay. Dom, Reggie.
I I'd like to I'd like to blame the front office because especially hindsight being 2020, of course,
Mm-hmm.
Middleton goes down, big blow. But I
Yes,
think an even equal blow to that was them letting PJ Tucker walk.
agree.
mm, mm,
As under the radar as that is, he was their glue guy.
Yep.
You know,
mm.
when everything else went awry, other than Giannis being Giannis, of course, you always had PJ Tucker. And where's he at right now?
Miami
Going
Mm-hmm.
where?
finals.
Finals,
To the
Eastern
conference
Conference
finals,
Finals.
Eastern
probably
Conference
the
finals.
finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at that today. Matter of fact, I was just thinking, and I was like, man, PJ Tucker's on the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Middleton got hurt. And you know what? They rolled the dice. They went a little lower to bring in Grayson Allen, who had a good season, guys, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
He
He,
averaged
he
Sure.
like
played well for them in the playoffs as
right,
well.
but he
He did.
disappeared at the end. He just
Yes,
couldn't
he
hit a
did.
bucket. Last 2 or 3 games, he couldn't get out his own way. So that's what made me think about PJ Tucker.
Mm.
They lowballed him. He skedaddled to Miami, left the championship team.
Hmm.
Right.
So I got to kind of put some of the blame on the front office because, we could do the Bud till the cows come home. He won a chip
Mm-hmm.
last year.
Right.
He's
Right.
amongst the many coaches we put on a pedestal. I won't mention no names, Doc Rivers, who has 1 ring. And
Wow.
they're,
Right.
Red Auerbachs. So I
Right.
can't really lay all the
Toronto's
blame on him.
coach.
I can't really lay the blame totally on him. They got when Middleton went down, guys, it was tough.
Exactly.
But I'll leave it at that because they needed PJ Tucker.
Okay, well, let me bring in a couple more guys. David Sanford, your mic is live. Thanks for joining us. And as well as the Bishop is in the house. Your mic is live as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Somebody has some background noise.
Yes, please lower that if you can. I appreciate that. Mac would appreciate that. Right now, we're discussing the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks series in which Boston was victorious 4-3. Dave, Bishop, what are some of your impressions?
Hey, brothers, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna let Bishop go. I'm just sitting here. I'm having dinner right now. I'm still in Atlanta, but once I finish dinner, then I'm gonna speak.
No doubt. All good.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll shucky ducky. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So, my assessment of that Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks series is, I was saying it all along. It's like Milwaukee's still a better team to me. It's just their coaching, like they never. It's like I don't understand why Brook Lopez would have been out of the game. He should have.
You sent me a message.
He should have never been out of the game. It's like when he's in the game, Tatum and Brown and anybody else, nobody drives to the basket. Nobody drives to the basket, and they get all rebounds, offensive and defensive. They get the majority of those rebounds. Number two, it's like Giannis was just like out of control the whole series. Like just even the games that they won, it's like you score 40 points, but you took 35 shots. You score, you got 20 rebounds, but like 10 of those rebounds is from your misses.
Okay.
It's not like you were like helping and cleaning up, and it's like he just worked way too hard to score his points, and it was just like eventually like it was going to catch up to you. And it's like, okay, well, you see that Boston is like flopping and they falling down and doing all kind of stuff. It's like, okay, so why don't you get a ball to the point guard, set a screen, roll to the basket, from the 3-point line on in, you have 2 steps to the basket and nobody's stopping you. Nobody on the court. Al Horford, nobody stopping you. You got 2 explosive steps to the basket, and forget about it if you do it from the key, from the key to the rim. It's like you got 2 steps. You can do whatever. You can do a Euro step. He's that athletically talented, and it's like you right there at the rim. It's like dunk the ball. Like it's just like he was just wild and just like unbridled. He want to bring the ball up. He want to set the offense. He want to do like everything. It's like with your main scorer out, you got to conserve and play smarter, which means that they need you to rebound more. They need you to play help defense more. They need you to be like that all around guy, like how LeBron used to be. Like, I'm going to give you some of everything. I'm going to give you some of everything. And this comparison, I think I've commented on a few people who make the comparison and saying, like, Giannis is better than LeBron and so forth and so on. It's like, first of all, pay attention to the resumes. Look at these guys' resumes. Before you make, like, and I mean, these are people, like, not only on Facebook, but these are people like on ESPN and TNT and all of them. It's like that's like the most asinine comparison to make. It's like Giannis is having a good streak of play. He won a championship last year because he ran into a team that didn't have a matchup for him. But it's kind of like to make a comparison between him and LeBron. It's like it just makes no sense. And this whole idea that because he's from Greece and he's more humble and this and that. No, he's pretty selfish, because if you want to take 30-something shots to score 40 points, that's not a team player. and that's
Or
not what they need you to do.
right,
Well,
right.
well, all his
Reggie.
teammates wasn't doing anything too much either, bro.
If you got the ball in your hand, it's just like when I made the commentary with Dallas. It's like if you got the ball in your hands 65 to 70% of the time, there is nothing that your teammates can do except stand around and watch you play.
Right. That's like Reggie. When we play with Chinese
What?
Mark, is he a point guard?
Oh, I thought you was talking about me.
No. I have no
No,
problems with you playing a point, but is Chinese Mark a point guard?
not at all.
So why should he have the ball in his hands?
I don't know, though. I can't figure
So
it out. I went along with the.
Bud never made this adjustment. Giannis gets the ball and he just dribbles up the court. Who's their point guard? Drew Holiday, right?
Yep, very capable.
George Hill, right?
Very capable.
When they were in the game, did they get the ball, or did Giannis just grab the rebound, look at them, and like, let's go? And
basically,
he would dribble up to the front, and then he would try to drive. They were packing the paint, so he would try to drive into two defenders.
Three defenders.
Yep. He's in the league long enough to understand and know, like, yo, get me the ball in my spot. It's simple. You're 100% right. And Dom, he touched on a very good point.
Yeah.
In Miss PJ Tucker.
Definitely.
He was definitely a glue guy. And like I said, I got to backtrack again. I'm backtracking twice. Middleton may not be the star, but he's very important to that team, and they missed him greatly.
Right.
A great deal.
Yeah,
right.
But
I agree.
The way that the Celtics play, the Celtics are geared towards stopping players that have Middleton's skill set. Off the dribble, they're geared towards that. They have very good help defense. So you're not really going to, unless you're supremely athletic, you're not really going to get off like that because they got guys that they can throw at you. And I'm not talking about Tatum. They got guys that, and Middleton is light in the butt. So it's like he ain't really overpowering anybody. His game is a finesse game. And Boston is very good at getting in to finesse players their space. You see what they did to Kevin Durant, who's like the creme de la creme of perimeter players. They allowed him nothing. So, and it's like I don't even put Middleton in that same category. But if they did that to Kevin Durant, imagine what they would have done to Chris Middleton. So he would have been ineffective.
But you say that, but Kevin Durant, you understand, he only had Kyrie. Middleton, you got Holiday, you got Giannis, okay, you got Brooke. He like I said, he's an important guy to that team because he's a very willing passer. Very willing passer.
It's hard
and
to
that's
take
what
away.
they was missing.
And he's a 20-point-a-night guy. That's a lot to take away from a team. You can say what you want about him being soft, tall, skinny, whoever's checking him. He actually averaged 20 points. So that means a litany of players was checking him all year.
And he's a 50, 40, 90 guy.
Yeah, that's hard to take away. That also, and PJ Tucker.
He's also shown that when there's moments that he needs to be that guy, that he's not that guy.
He was last year in the championship.
He can be that guy too now.
Last year he showed up. Year he showed up. But prior to that, it was always the story of will Middleton be this or will Middleton ever step up and do this? So
he stepped up more than Harden did.
Well, that's because the matchup that they had. Like Giannis threw everything in flux. They had no answers for Giannis, so that opened up everything else because they were like, okay.
Fellas, we got a we got a Boston Celtic fan just wilding out right now.
Oh jeez.
He just frothing over there. I know he is.
Yeah, well, again, like I said,
he correcting people. He's Nigerian. He's born in Greece. We know he's Nigerian. Stop it.
Missing Middleton, missing PJ Tucker. Milwaukee still had the personnel if they played the right way to beat Boston. They still had the personnel. Still had the personnel. Like, how many games came down to the wire when it was just like, if you wouldn't have made those 5 turnovers or 5 offensive fouls or stupid passes or jacking up for a
Okay,
3.
so this is what I'm saying with Middleton. Come crunch time, Giannis wouldn't have had that pressure on him to do all of the dumb things that he did.
There was no pressure. He just got the ball and decided that
okay.
he was going to do what he wanted to do.
Okay.
But
There
they
was no
still
pressure.
didn't have that. They didn't have that outlet, Bishop, where okay,
Calming
if
the
things
flow.
are going a little awry, and he's going to the hoop because he still got 8-9 assists. If he's going to the hoop a little out of control, he still had Middleton to throw the ball to.
Yeah,
Middleton,
but
PJ Tucker.
Well,
I mean,
okay, so
they just
PJ
won a
Tucker,
ring last year. I mean, we make it sound like they're the New York Knicks. I mean,
despite the coaching ineptitude, they won a championship last year. Despite that, what I'm saying is, with the personnel that they had, they still had enough to beat Boston if he played under control. He didn't need to take 25, 30 shots a game. He should have been able to get his 35 points a game, taking 15 shots, 15 to 20 shots mainly.
Chris, go cook, man. Our friend
It's like, yo, that guy is like, yeah, that guy is he's been sending me so many pictures of himself in like Celtics gear, like smiling.
Wait a minute, time out.
Bishop, this is a family show.
Can we just give the Boston Celtics their credit?
Yes.
No, I'm just saying. Like, it wasn't all Milwaukee's undoing and whatnot. Boston did have a hand in this for them advancing into the next round.
Listen, Jason Tatum is the truth. He had 2 games where he wasn't. Boston is flawed, but he did his thing. He's one of my favorite players in the league, and he did his thing.
They're the best defensive team in the league all year.
Al Horford was big
time.
Yesterday, a couple of Celtics had birthdays yesterday because they was hitting threes. Those guys won't hit threes like that. I don't think Horford goes for 30 in another game this year.
Well, hold on. You talking about Grant Williams, obviously. I mean, a man took like 18, 19 attempts at the 3-point and made like 7, maybe 8. I'm not sure. I think it's 7. If you take that amount, you're bound to hit something.
Yeah.
Well, no. So, James Harden takes those and doesn't hit them.
Not necessarily.
We're talking about James Harden. We're not talking about him.
Not necessarily. Phoenix took how many threes they took last night?
Well, man, listen, we can't even talk about that game, bro. That wasn't even a game. Yeah, Stop it. We can't even talk. There's no need to. We strike that from the program, bro.
Now he's raining off stats. Okay, he had 21 in game 2. He will never
he was hitting those corner 3-pointers. Well,
for this year, he won't score another. He won't have another game like that.
Miami will have answers for that. Miami will have answers.
It was his birthday. Stop.
No, Miami will have answers for that. They'll have answers for that.
He shot 18 threes.
Right.
He shot 18 threes.
Yeah.
Wide
How
open.
many of them were open?
Wide open. 19 of them.
That's
19.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
He shot 18. 19 were open.
Reggie, what do we call that? He shot his load.
Yeah. Basically.
Al Horford has shot his load.
This is a family show.
Oh, I mean it in the most respectful way.
Got guys sending Bishop pictures, players shooting loads.
No.
Wow.
Come on, yo. You know how. You know how C is with his Boston Celtics paraphernalia. You got the jacket, he got the jersey, he got the shirt. He got all kind of. I was like, yo, dude, like.
Yo, I wake up in the morning, I got texts, Instagram messages, and Facebook messages from him.
It's like, yo, I don't mind the food pictures.
They hating right now. They hating.
We would like a meal too.
They hating.
Hey. Is that the gymnast saying they hating?
That's right. They hating right now. They hating. It's all right. It's all right. I get
wait.
it.
Yeah.
My brothers ain't all looking fly tonight. He looked like he
Yo,
just
shut
stepped
up, man. Shut up.
out of the Alexander O'Neal video.
Or probation meeting.
I just got in from work. I just got in from work.
He came in from a meeting at the National Action Network with Al Sharpton and C. Mason.
If he did you get a check off? And how big was it?
Whatever, man.
You know,
I just got in.
I
just got in from work, and I was nice enough to grace y'all with my presence on In the Paint. You understand? Instead of hitting the bed like I want to do, but it's all right. It's all right. You know, so we're gonna get to some more sports and talk about these playoff games and whatnot. Give Boston the credit they deserve. Give Grant Williams the credit he deserves. I don't think it was a birthday.
Stevie Wonder's happy birthday to him.
Here you go.
Let me put this back up there. Leave him open and see. And they left him open, and we saw what it was.
Contested and see.
Yeah. Just like the Boston.
Let me just say this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, all I'm going to say is that I still think that take that Milwaukee team with a better coach, and they win this series. I think that Milwaukee looked like the Milwaukee teams prior to them winning the chip, where when they struggle, then they just go to relying on Giannis and not playing as a team. And then Giannis, when he doesn't do well, so goes the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm not taking anything from Boston. I just think Boston, to me, they took advantage of their opportunities.
Yes, they did.
And their coach definitely adjusted for them to win the last game. So Boston did what they had to do. So that's why they won this series. They did what they had to do, and Milwaukee didn't, for whatever reason. So I don't think that, I'm not going to take anything from Boston, but I'm not going to just pronounce them as being the better team in this situation. They're a damn good team, and I.
Yeah, well, some Celtics fans are still talking about that Game 5 when Marcus Smart supposedly took a 3-point shot in the Matrix, and the referees did not count it, and they lost the game. It's like, dude, like y'all won the series. You still talking about that shot, that alleged shot by Marcus Smart? Like the series should have been over already. It's like, yeah, it's no reason. There's no reasoning with some Boston fans. That's just it. There's no reasoning.
Get back, David.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay on. This is the hotel Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
So I'm on the Max 611 package.
I knew that was coming.
Look at the face. Look at the face.
So my Ethernet
your Wi-Fi is connected to the microwave.
Yeah. So my Ethernet cord isn't long enough to reach the
Oh, that's crazy. Wow.
Oh, y'all made him leave. Look at that.
I think I did see a Radio Shack down here. So next to the chicken and waffle spot.
Don't do my brother like that, yo.
Revenge will be mine.
Oh yeah. All right.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yo, let's do some moving on, shall we? If we're done with this series, let's go to the Miami Heat beating the Philadelphia 76ers 4-2. Another result I'm very happy with. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, thank God. I'm very happy with that. No championship.
Let Dom get it in, because I know he's been frothing.
Oh, well, go ahead,
no. Go ahead, please. Go, please.
No,
Doc
listen,
Rivers, we can do this
you
all
already
night.
know. Yeah, all night, baby, all night. You understand what I'm saying? First of all, before that, I'm so glad that James Harden, no championship this year for you again. Okay? I'm ecstatic about that. I don't give a damn. And Bishop, you could try to crucify me all you want, but I'm happy about that. You understand? Well, I mean, let's keep it real now. The first 2 games without Embiid obviously hurt. You understand? So maybe it could have went the other way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. Could have went the other way if Embiid was healthy and if he was there during the start of the series. But missing those 2 first games obviously hurt them. So I'm just glad that Miami's moving on. You know what I'm saying? I love Spoelstra, the coach, obviously. I think he's a great coach, actually. You know what I mean? Definitely one of the top coaches in the league. And I have to give all props to him. He has this team out there ready to play every game. It doesn't always result in a win, but they come prepared for the most part. So you have to give him props for that. And as long as James has wait, what?
His Twinkies.
Right,
Wow.
right in the middle of my statement, you're gonna bring that shit up. That's hilarious, dude. Okay. He just groove killed me and he didn't even say a word. Max 611. Good going. Fuck out of here. But again, I'm just happy at this result, to be honestly. And Doc Rivers, well, Dom, you already know. You already know, brother.
And they're gonna bring him back, they said.
Exactly.
They're
gonna bring him back.
Is this really on Doc Rivers? Really?
It always is on Doc Rivers.
Well, you know what? I can understand.
Always.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I can understand where Bishop is going. I get your point. You understand? I do understand it. But the bottom line is he is the head coach, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
how many jump shots he missed?
None.
Not as many as
now
James
we can
Harden.
say the same thing about Budenholzer.
How many
Right.
turnovers? No. Budenholzer just made stupid decisions. Doc
Well, let's
Rivers,
think about
it's like these guys go out there and just play. I don't know how many times I watched Joel Embiid get up off the floor off of just basic plays. I'm like, why are you wilding on the floor? Like, you get a rebound, nobody's touching you, but you on the floor. Or you get a rebound and the point guard taps you and you fall on the floor rolling around. It's like, what's going on here? I'm not even talking about James Harden. I'm just talking about Embiid. It's like, dude, you played like an MVP all season long. You dominated game after game. You were a problem for the whole season. You get to this last 2 games and you pouting because you didn't win the MVP. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
he did do that.
That game and then the last game, it's like you guys passed it. Like, you and James Harden passing the ball to Tyrese Maxey. He looking like what y'all giving me the ball for? Like this team.
I don't want it.
He looking at surprises. He passed the ball. He bring the ball up. He passed it to James Harden. James Harden passed it back to him. Joel Embiid got a one-on-one matchup. He kicking the ball out to Tyrese Maxey. Like, Maxey looking like I don't get the ball. Like, I never get the ball right here.
Bishop, he screamed like Ice Cube in Barbershop. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And I can't say that this is like Doc. This is like players with no heart.
Everybody.
And he allowed it. He allowed a scoring guard to shoot twice in the second half and didn't say nothing. He just went on with it. And
did you hear the interview Harden did? He said the ball didn't find a way back to me.
Yeah.
Man.
Again,
isn't he the wait, hold up. He is the point guard, right? Also,
allegedly.
The ball is in his hand. He averaged 10 assists this series. He needs to stop. Homie, you took 2 shots in the second half of a closeout game with 11 points and 4 turnovers, and you shot 34% from the field in this series, and you shot under 30% from the 3 for the series. That's when you, homie.
As long as Morey is there, and I don't know, maybe James Harden got something on this dude.
My friend said not everyone is John Paxson or Steve Kerr. You right.
Well, let's not forget, Doc Rivers created James Harden. James Harden wouldn't be on the Sixers if it wasn't for Doc Rivers opening his damn mouth at the end of last year. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget Joel Embiid's 12 turnovers in the 2 closeout games last year. Same coach, same result, no adjustment, none. but you started the Ben Simmons thing, and then you got fleeced. Your organization got fleeced because of your big ass mouth. Think about that. James Harden ain't on the Sixers if he didn't open his damn mouth.
Tell him how you
And
feel.
it's not
brother.
because I don't like Doc Rivers. These are
Tell him how
facts.
you feel.
So that was all on
These
Doc.
are facts.
So that was all
No,
on
I'm just
Doc.
saying these are facts. You
Yeah,
can
well,
put
he
it on
did
whoever
say-
you want. He started it and he ended it the way he ends every season with his one-ass championship. Get out of here with that Doc Rivers shit. Any other coach, you be sitting there saying he didn't make adjustments, he didn't do this. Come on, man. This guy has proven he's a clown.
I can't blame. He's fourth on the all-time leading winning
Oh,
list.
so
of
what?
coaches.
So what? So what?
And
What does that mean?
And it means that he's fourth on the all-time winning list of every
So
single
what?
coach that's
If
ever
I
coached
coach,
in
if
the
I
NBA.
coach
I'd have to look
2,000
that up.
games,
And
if I coach
also
2,000 games, I'm gonna win about 1,500 with the teams he had.
not necessarily, but be that as
Yeah,
it may,
Okay.
be that as it may, I'm not going to debate that point. What I am going to tell you is, if I'm the coach and I set up a game plan, and you guys go out there and you don't execute the game plan that you've been executing for the whole season, that's not really on the coach.
So, whoa,
No,
hold
no,
on. I
hold on, no.
gotta stop.
That's
you.
not
So-
really on the coach.
Whoa,
Right,
I gotta
right.
stop you, Bishop.
Right.
So if you have a game plan and I make an adjustment to stop that game plan, you should adjust to my adjustment. Am I right or wrong?
You always say.
Absolutely. But again,
So he didn't
how
do
do
that.
you adjust?
Whoa,
How
so
do
he
you
didn't
adjust?
do that.
Whoa. How do you adjust to one of your premier scorers not shooting the ball? How do you adjust to that? Because that's
You sit
not
him on the bench.
that's not. So
Yeah,
who do
you
you
Sit him
bring
on the
in?
bench.
Who do you bring in to replace
Who
that?
Somebody,
cares?
somebody else.
Who do
Who
you bring in
cares?
to
Somebody
replace
willing to
that?
shoot.
Scorer? You don't have
You
anybody.
just went
else.
You just went over this with Milwaukee, had a whole different take, but now you got a different take for this. It's the same
No,
situation.
I'm not giving him an excuse.
You could have
I'm
brought anybody off the bench that would have took
Who?
2 shots, Bishop.
Who?
I don't care who it is. You name them. I
Ben
don't
Simmons.
care. 2 shots. Remember,
Like,
you
listen.
got rid of a guy that passed up. You got rid of a guy that passed up a dunk because you opened your big ass mouth, and the guy you got took 2 shots in a elimination game, and you sat there and watched it.
Right. And then proceeded after the game to walk down Broad Street with 4 cheesesteaks in his hand to the strip club where there was a trough of fries and strippers waiting for him.
Well,
Just remember, nothing personal. He's not on
to-
the Sixers if not for damn Doc Rivers.
Well, I think that's a
debate
Daryl
that.
Morey thing. I think that's a Daryl Morey
No,
thing.
no,
Daryl
it's
Morey
a Doc
is
Rivers thing. He
Daryl
put the
Morey's
gun
in
to
love
their
with that
head,
guy.
and that's
Nah.
what happened.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
Well, we can say
You
that.
know what
but
happened. I'm not making
I
this
can
up.
tell
You know
you-
what happened.
So,
Wow.
like, well, before we
don't know about that.
start throwing
You'll make
everybody
me
under the
put
bus
gin in this
and
damn
so
cup.
forth, let me remind everybody. Let
Put
me
it in there,
remind
dog. Put it
everybody,
in.
and not let one of the hosts of this show
Uh-oh.
off the hook, because
Oh
when
boy.
the bishop explained to him the 3 clowns that were on the Brooklyn Novellas, and I said
Here
to
we
him,
go. Here.
and I said to him, "Yo, James
Now he's trying
Harden,
to put it on
James
me
Harden,
now.
no, James Harden cares less about winning or losing. He does not care. He doesn't care. It's like none of those guys can win a championship because they're all sidekicks. So you just put 3 sidekicks together. When the band was together, he was all in. Get rid of Kyrie, keep Harden. Get rid of Kyrie, keep Harden. Now all of a sudden you want to persecute him, put him on a cross, nail him up, crucify him. But you were all in when he was on the Novellas. Correct or not correct? Answer the question.
I am not on the stand, so therefore I will not answer the question.
Your Honor is a hostile witness. Is a hostile witness.
I am not on the stand.
Oh
I am not in-
boy!
I am
Don't
not in
punk
court.
out. Don't
I'm
punk
not,
out.
I'm not punking out. I plead
There
the
you
fizz.
are. There you are.
I plead the fizzif. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, you
It's
remember
like-
my gift from last night? You remember my gift from last night?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, David.
There it is.
But you
Well,
can't
I-
blame
I-
R.
again, I can't. No, I'm not blaming R. I'm just saying that Whether he was on novellas, Philly, whatever, this dude doesn't care about winning or losing. Only thing he
So
cares
hold
about.
on, I gotta put you on the
That
spot
is
now.
true.
I gotta hold
That
on,
is
I gotta
true.
put Bishop on the spot now. Now, Bishop, you've said multiple times. James Harden, he could do anything on the court.
He can.
Offensively.
Absolutely, he can. There's nothing.
So
I said
2
anything
shots,
on the court.
11 points.
I said
That's
anything
not
on the
doing
court.
everything.
He can. No, he
That's
can
not doing
score.
anything.
He can score. He can facilitate. That dude can do anything that he wants to do on the court. He just doesn't care. Is what I'm saying. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, but going back to Doc though, that team looked uninspired. They're in a game 7, and you talked about Doc's winning percentage and being number 4. If that's the case,
5.
what's his
Number 5. I looked it up.
Okay, 5. So what's his record in elimination?
Who's ahead of him? Who's ahead of him?
What's his
Go
record?
ahead. Let Dave talk. I'll get it.
What's his record in elimination games?
It's bad, but I'll tell you his overall playoff record is 104 and 100. That's very mediocre.
Yeah. So at number 4, we're talking about regular season, or 5 is regular season.
Mhm.
I saw uninspired Doc Rivers coach team. I saw him standing on the sidelines, looking at them like he doesn't know. Like exactly. Somebody do something. They got within 9 points towards the end of the game, and it was that was it Max kid, whatever the kid's name.
Maxie.
Yeah, Maxie. He was the only one that looked like he had a little bit of heart in it. Harden was throwing the ball all over the place, and looked like he was waiting for the Uber Eats guy. So and talk about Embiid falling. How many times did Embiid roll around on the floor? He was so bad he took out his own teammate. So Doc, yes, he has no control over them missing the shots or not taking it, but he just did not look like he had. Like they turned him off. That's what it looked like. Like he's over there yelling at nobody. He might as well have been talking to the people in the stands because they were not listening to him. So if he's calling out plays, they're doing what they want to do and throwing the ball away. That's what I saw in a game 7 with a chance to go to the conference finals. So, game 6. I'm sorry. What is it? 7? It was 7, right?
Game
7,
6.
Yeah.
Game 6. No, it was a 6. They won 4-2.
6.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So game 6.
6.
So, what I meant to say is an elimination game at home.
Wow.
They look,
I wonder who that is.
They look
You
bad.
know who it is.
Now let me give you a little stat here, Dave. The 4 coaches ahead of him, only one coach has as many championship wins as him. That's it.
Who is it?
You got Phil Jackson, Popovich, Pat Riley, Larry Brown, Doc Rivers.
Listen, I'm no Larry Brown fan because that dude is next town.
But he got 1 ring.
Oh, listen, he was a good coach. He was a decent
Detroit.
coach.
And he won that ring with a lot less talent than Doc Rivers won that ring in Boston.
Yes,
let's
he
keep
did.
it real.
Yeah.
If you want to, let's keep it real.
Yes, he did. But
Larry
Brown was mediocre. If you look at his overall record, he got a lot of mediocre seasons. His winning percentage isn't that high. He just coached for a lot of teams in a lot of years.
Yeah,
like Doc Rivers.
Right.
Like Doc Rivers.
Say what you want about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was a great coach. Y'all man, all you want. All you want. His record.
How was he a great coach, bro? You had Michael Jordan, you had Scottie Pippen, you had Kobe, you had Shaq.
Right.
You could go out there and win 6 rings with them dudes.
Okay, Reggie. So the other coaches who had
whatever.
Stop,
what do you mean whatever?
Stop,
the other coaches who had Michael Jordan, how good were they? Stan Albeck?
Dude.
Doug Collins?
Yeah. Next.
They had a young Jordan with very little around him too.
I agree.
So I'm just bringing up a point that the 4 coaches ahead of him each have at least 1 win. 1 championship win. And some of them
who's the next person behind him, Don?
Red Auerbach.
Don Nelson? Oh, Red Auerbach.
And the next person.
Lenny Wilkins.
Don Nelson? Oh.
Steve Kerr, Don Nelson, Casey Jones, Jerry Sloan, Eric Spoelstra. Figure that one out. 1 team, not as long as this guy hasn't bounced around. And come on, guys, it is what it is sometimes. It ain't nothing personal. What I'm saying is facts. You rewind this movie, and you don't have James Harden on the Sixers taking 2 shots. Ben Simmons would have shot more than twice, but he'd have played better defense. He probably would have got more rebounds.
So what of Andre Drummond and Seth Curry?
Yeah, and then I didn't even bring that up, Mark.
Weren't responsible for those trades. Yeah. That was
Daryl Morey. This guy.
That was Daryl Morey.
But again, his feet was to the fire because of what Doc Rivers said. He's not coming back.
I can't agree with that.
Not going to come back and play for this
I
organization.
don't know about that
Daryl Morey was adding fuel to the fire as well. Daryl Morey was adding fuel to the fire as well. It was only
they all did, Bishop, but it started at Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Doc.
You can't deny
that. It started with his teammates. No,
it started with Doc Rivers at the press conference 5 minutes after the game ended. Come on,
they asked him, can he win a championship? And he said, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, he said some other stuff after that.
He said, I don't know. Then he goes on a whirlwind tour trying to backtrack like we didn't hear what he said. He said this 5 minutes after the game.
Well, how about
you don't do that. You just don't do that. Even if you believe that, you don't say that.
Was he right?
How about this?
That's what I said, Reg. Even if you believe
how about this?
You don't say it.
How about this? How about this? How about we contact the Light Skin NBA Players Association and get these dudes out their feelings. Because
I believe that, Bishop. Trust me. I'm with
you. You've been paying millions of dollars, guaranteed money. It doesn't matter what they have to say about you. Guess what?
I'm with you on that.
Because it's like, so you got your feelings hurt. And now you can't tolerate to put the uniform on. It can't touch your skin. You can't go out on the court. You're so mentally devastated. That is kind of like ridiculous. That was
careful, Bishop.
But hold up, James Harden looked like Django Unchained. And what's his excuse?
I told you he don't care about winning. He don't care about winning or losing.
He care about them cheesesteaks in the strip club.
Be careful, Bishop. You're gonna be getting hate mail in the morning because I'm gonna tell you what, I'm with Bishop on that 100%. I'm not gonna go back to how it happened. After it happened, I'm with Bishop. You put your big boy pants on, but see, here's the conversation. I always say this, guys. We had this conversation once before with this mental illness. Is that a get out of jail free card, or do you really have a problem? Because you know what? You didn't hear about his mental illness before this. You didn't hear about it when he went to the Nets. Then it was his back. So I'm with Bishop on that. Sometimes you got to be careful playing that. Forgive me for saying cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs role.
Pretty much.
This is coming from somebody with a mental illness. So you know why I look at it like that, guys. He played that card. He got the sympathy. And then everything was good when he went to Brooklyn, except he still couldn't play. That's the part I'm with Bishop 100%. And too many people are doing this, guys. We've been over that before. So
let me ask you this. So as a team, if a player has a bad game, you don't throw him under the bus, right?
Not right after the game.
There was a lot of underlying animosities and stuff between him and Embiid. I think Magic didn't like Kareem. Kareem didn't particularly care for Magic. They still played together forever. They still played together, and it's like, you know what? I don't have to like you. I just need to play and work together.
Earl Monroe and Frazier did not like each other until they became teammates.
But let me say one more thing.
Let me finish this. Xavier McDaniel and Charles Oakley were fighting in the stands. They did not like each other. They played together for a full year and did what they needed to do. Go ahead, Doc.
But here's how arrogant Doc Rivers is. We won. Well, we weren't expected to do much. They didn't have a real good team before I got here. This is him talking, not Dominic. But they was 3 bounces. They was 101 bounces off the rim with Kawhi Leonard with the Sixers going to the damn conference championship. But they weren't expected to do nothing. They were still building. They were still no. The process was gone when you got there. There wasn't no more trust the process. That's why they brought you in. They thought you had the piece to bring them forward. But again, he's proved himself, and he did it this year again, opening his mouth, getting all belligerent with the damn reporters, which I have no problem with. But just be careful what you say when we weren't expected to do this and we didn't have this and blah, 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 blah. Really? Really?
Yeah,
Come on. What was they, the third seed? Third, fourth seed?
There's,
And they
there's
was
some
going
things,
back and forth all year.
Some-
1, 2, 3,
No, he
4.
shouldn't.
there's some things like I'll take a page. I know I'm getting ahead of myself when Monty Williams said it's internal. That if he would have said that, that would have been a done deal. You understand?
But that's what a real
I understand
coach
what you
would
talk.
say.
I understand what you're saying, Dom. If you felt that way, you shouldn't have put it out on on Front Street like that. You want to say that in the locker
Exactly.
room, Mark, to answer your question? Hell yeah, I'm gonna tell you played like shit in the locker room. You're
Right.
right. I'm gonna tell you that.
Well, Reg, you've told me you on the court. The fuck are you doing, Mark? Why are you doing that? He's done
Basically,
it. He's done it.
Yeah. So for me, it's like the two of these guys. There seemed to be like this unspoken competition for who team it was, and I think Ben Simmons always felt like it should be my team, and then naturally,
How about it's our team, but I'm the
naturally,
man on this. I'm the man on this team. and
it's
you're
like
not.
these NBA this is a new NBA where these guys
Right.
I don't understand it. It's like
Kyrie Irving.
an average game is like if you could score 30, I could score 25, and everybody else eats, we still living, we still doing what we need to do. These guys, it's like, nah, I want to score my 25, and
So
I want
could get
everybody
my
to
big
talk about my
contract and my sneaker
25.
deal.
I want everybody to talk about my 25 like it's the greatest thing since. And it's like, again, like Philly was dysfunctional from the time, like how many true point guards did they bring in there? But they ran them out of there because Ben Simmons wanted to play point guard when he's not a point guard. So
He is a point guard.
no.
Yeah,
no.
he is.
An NBA point guard sets the table,
Oh,
is able to hit a jump shot, is able to play in pick and roll.
Not every point guard can hit a jump shot.
Be an offensive threat. You got to hit a wide open shot.
Not all of them can do it consistently.
But like I always say, this guy almost averages a triple-double, man. He almost averages a triple-double. And he can't shoot like Jerry West. But he does so many other things very well.
Right.
I mean,
So
look at his numbers.
Let me ask you this, Dom. If I was your guard and I couldn't shoot jumpers, but I could get to the rim, what would you have me do?
Go to the rim.
Rod Strickland.
How many threes would you want me
Mark
to take?
Jackson. We've seen this movie before. You
Y'all
go with the
need
guy.
to stop with he's not a point guard and he can't shoot threes. It's plenty
Nobody
of people who can't do certain things.
Nobody said he had to be a proficient scorer.
So Bishop, he scores at the rim 50% from the field.
He at least has to be an offensive threat because
he averages 15 points a game
from the perimeter. Because what teams were doing was they were setting up their
defense.
That's
not his game.
So that
I wouldn't want him to do that. Would you want Steph Curry to play down low?
So that the ball rolls back to him when he's on the perimeter and there's no time left in the clock. So you either got to take the shot or you got to get out of that position. You either got to take that shot.
It's not his game.
I understood. So get out of that position then. Because what we need from that position is somebody who can hit an open jump shot. You can't hit an open jump shot. So you're giving me, what you're saying to me is, if I'm deciphering your vernacular correctly, what you're saying to me is, if there's 10 things that an NBA point guard delivers, you're okay with getting 6 out of those 10 things. You'll live with that.
He's a defensive player of the year. He was rookie of the year. He shoots 50% from the field. The only thing 56. He doesn't do, right? The only thing he doesn't do is shoot. Hold on.
It don't matter.
He doesn't shoot free throws and he doesn't shoot threes. I don't want him shooting no threes at all.
So in other words, if they in the playoffs, when they establish defense, the better teams, and they stop you from driving to the basket,
he would kick the ball out.
You pretty much.
You had Seth Curry.
And then they rotate the ball back because now what they're doing is they're loading up on that side. So the right basketball play is to kick it back to the open side. You're on the open side.
Well, no, I wouldn't have him go to that
shoot
side.
that shot. No. You don't have any choice. You don't have any choice.
That's not true, bro. Stop that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what happened. That's what happened in the playoffs. That's why Doc said what he said, because the team basically, the defense basically forced the ball back to his side, and he wouldn't shoot. It wasn't up to Doc. Yo, no matter what, they loaded one side so that the ball had to come back.
That's the person who swung the ball to him. If I know a bum is in the corner, I'm not giving him the ball.
But that's the right basketball play.
No, it's not.
Telling me?
Not if he can't hit that shot. That's not the right play.
So then he shouldn't be in that position, or you should have somebody else on the court.
So Bishop, let me just ask you: if he's not running the point for you, where do you see him?
I see him as a forward in the pick and roll, rolling to the basket, coming off the cut, always in that getting rebounds, getting putbacks.
So you're gonna sit
so many other positions.
8 assists on the bench. You're gonna take that away from him?
Yeah, but again, it's 8 assists. But how many missed opportunities do we have to go through? We're gonna lose the game. Those 8 assists are not. So that's 16 points. Okay, that's 16 points. What else?
Who else on the team, on Philadelphia's team, gets 8 assists?
They had.
Who on the Nets gets 8 assists? Who on the Knicks gets 8 assists? Who on a lot of teams don't get 8 assists? But let me just say this, Bishop. But we'll look over that, just like you're saying. We'll look over, okay, he don't get 8 assists, but he can shoot. If that's your goal, that's your goal. I mean, everybody's not the same. But here's a guy that averages 16, 8, and 8. You can't deny that 56% from the field.
But that's for layups. In the playoffs, was he still averaging?
I don't care what it is.
In the playoffs, what happens?
The person that has the best field goal percentage is a center taking damn dunks. But we accept that.
But Bishop, so we accept it. They got rid of him. They brought in Harden. And how much offense did he provide for you?
9 assists.
When it counted.
2 shots in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, my point is, if somebody can't give you what you need at this level at a point guard position, then that person shouldn't be running a point guard.
There's a lot of people in the NBA who aren't great 3-point shooters, bro.
Yeah, not all of them are point guards.
He has
every one of your great 3-point shooters ain't a point guard, or they're not a bad point guard. I mean, it's an if and an and. All I'm trying to say is, you never got James Harden if all of this didn't happen. You would have still had Ben Simmons. And if you're a great coach, you would make it work somehow, some way. Like I said, you was 15 bounces off the rim of going to a conference final with Ben Simmons.
All right,
and then all of a sudden he became the GOAT.
Right.
Because he passed up a dunk.
Right.
Really?
No, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault that they lost that series. Because as you mentioned earlier, Joel Embiid had 8 turnovers in that game. Joel Embiid allowed Danilo Gallinari to guard him in the post.
And also, Ben Simmons had little Chico DeBarge on lockdown. Trae Young.
Well, Trae Young, right. But then he wouldn't shoot. And he wouldn't shoot. And it's like Nate McMillan. In Atlanta doesn't even play. They didn't even hold defense like that. But even Nate McMillan was able to come up with a defensive scheme that forced the ball back to Simmons. And it's just like, you're not going to take the shot. You're giving the ball to Thibault. You're giving the ball, you're doing everything that you can to avoid shooting.
So before we get off this, then what I'm hearing is other coaches made adjustments and they exposed the flaws.
Pretty much.
But Doc didn't.
Right.
He should have been in that position. What I'm saying,
and
absolutely.
There it is.
And he shouldn't have been in that position.
Neither should Doc.
Right, but you allowed it. You just said this about Budenholzer, Bishop. Come on, man.
No. What I said about Budenholzer is he just allows Giannis to run wild. What I'm saying about Doc is he shouldn't have had Ben Simmons running point guard because he can't give you what you need from a
Well,
point
we
guard.
talking about last year, but can we talk about James Harden and his?
Well, James, I already told you. Like I don't even. James Harden cares. He doesn't care about winning or losing.
So
He
why
just
is he
wants,
on your team, and why is he
because he
due to
gets paid
get
47.
a?
He just pays $47 million or $45 million
Can,
a year. So why
can
not?
I can I ask a question?
Why not?
I'm gonna ask.
Got you.
I'm gonna
Go
ask a
ahead,
question.
Reg.
So you saying Tony Parker was a point guard?
He was. He couldn't shoot.
Yes.
He never shot a three. He barely took threes.
10, 15 footers. 10, 15 footers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what Ben Simmons should be doing.
He's got to be a threat from somewhere.
How many layups did Tony Parker take a game?
A lot.
Shit, probably
A
80% of them.
A lot.
Right. He didn't really take those 10, 15 footers because he couldn't hit those either.
Oh no, he took 10 to 15 footers. He took those because
Yeah,
he couldn't
later on
hit
in his
them though. He
career.
wasn't consistent hitting those.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He was quick.
At the end of his career, he did shoot a little better.
He was
did.
quick. He was lightning fast. He would get to those spots and pull up, or he would drive to the basket and pull a floater.
Right.
Or like he had a bunch of stuff in his arsenal that made him an offensive threat. A bunch of stuff. So it's like
So I'm asking you: Is Ben Simmons an offensive threat?
In some instances, when he's allowed to push the ball, on a fast break, like off the rebound, yes. In a half court set, no.
That's not true.
In a half court set, no.
Let's just remember this. With Ben Simmons, they got to a game 7.
Yes.
Without him, they got to game 6.
Yep.
Let me just throw something in there real quick. I just flashed this question from a Facebook user. That's not that one. Why give Simmons max money since his game is incomplete?
James Harden got max money. His game is incomplete.
That's a question that they're gonna have to ask for a lot of these players because you got Kyrie who's due for some max money. You got
James Harden
who's due for some max money. You got a few players that are due for max money, and what that does is that hamstrings the team.
They could be
paying 2 or 3 guys the lion's share of the salaries, the money.
Listen, the reason why people get max money is based off their potential.
Okay.
Well, listen. Not necessarily. I think you
have your money off of potential and your reputation.
No, you've demonstrated that you can produce. You've demonstrated that you can produce.
I just said that.
Yeah, no, you said potential. And I'm saying that
the potential is for you to come here and be the man for me if I'm giving you max money.
Right, but you've shown that you can do that.
I just said that. However you want to be saying the same thing, bro.
Remember, the Sixers didn't give Harden that contract either.
No.
He had that contract. And the Nets didn't give Ben Simmons his contract. He had that contract.
Right. Didn't James Harden opt out of 40-something million?
I think he blew the deadline when he got traded.
Well, he opted out, right?
Yes.
He blew the deadline, but whatever, he opted out, didn't he?
But the Sixers still own him. It's going to be hard for them to do anything.
Right. But do you pay that guy 40?
They're going to have to.
They're going to have to.
Million?
He can opt in.
They're going to have to pay him next year. I don't know what happens after that, but they're going to have to pay him next year. You bought into this.
Philly fans, y'all ain't going nowhere but to the playoffs.
Yeah, remember that. He came with that contract. Even though he blew that deadline, that means he'll still get that salary next year. So, and you ain't moving that contract.
Let me address my friend. So, Philly created the Simmons best by paying him to start with. He deserved his money. You can't deny that. You can't say he didn't deserve his money.
And remember, Morey didn't give him that. Morey didn't give him that contract either.
No, but you got to pay a Rookie of the Year, All-Star, All-Defensive Player. There's no way around that.
Right.
Whether you like his game or not. That's what the market is bearing for him.
They're stuck. And look at the contracts, not to get off subject, but between him, Tobias Harris, Those are two hard contracts to move.
Who also got max money? Would you get Tobias Harris max money?
Well,
how you moving them contracts?
I think what they're going to have to start doing is putting some contingencies in these contracts.
Yes.
Where like you are eligible to get this max money, but you got to meet certain milestones, because you got Zion Williamson, who's eligible for the max contract too,
and he's going to get it too.
Dude,
from somebody.
You haven't played a full season. You are going to be injury prone. And I got it. Somebody's going to pay him that money, but they're going to put a lot of contingencies in there with like weight, shape.
Well, insurance.
You got to be.
Well, you see what the commission is doing, right? They're setting everybody up for this new CBA. If you haven't been following the bouncing ball, all of a sudden, Adam Silver's bringing up load management, guys bitching their way out of contracts. They're getting a little tired of this now. I mean, it's like, I hate to say it, it's like the inmates running the asylum. If you're a free agent, you're a free agent. We understand that. But you can't be 2 years into a 5-year contract and say, oh, I don't like Mac. I want to go to that's got to stop. It's got to stop. And he's throwing them subliminals. And I'll tell you what, the players ain't winning this CBA.
Maybe not.
They're not.
Let me ask you this: is that a function of the sports commentating? Because that seems to be like this hot button issue with a lot of sports commentators, that guys are taking their destinies into their own hands, and like guys are not available for games. It's like, first of all, we're not even coming out of. It's like the last 2 seasons, almost 3 seasons. These guys have been in this COVID protocol where guys have been missing games, missing long stretches of games because they're in COVID protocol. So you can't really lump all of that into and say, well, these guys haven't played 60 games or whatever, because if I got to miss 10 games because I'm in COVID protocol because I have COVID, that's not something that I can help.
Right.
That's a good analogy, but it was happening before COVID.
Right.
Yeah, but this
Bishop,
is not
aside from load management, guys are taking their destiny in their own hands.
Under contract.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar told Milwaukee, "Yo, trade me to LA or trade me to New York."
Right. I don't have any problem with it. I don't have any problem.
Hold on. Will. Mm-hmm. Supposedly his agent, who then became a minor owner in Philadelphia, told Will, "Yo, when I get this deal, I got you. You could be GM, coach. You're going to have some power. You go get more money. I got you."
Yeah, right.
When he got the deal, Wilt was like, "So what's up?" He was like, "I never said that." He didn't have it in paper. So him and Wilt battled. And then Wilt went to LA and made a deal. The reason why he wanted to go to LA, I'm taking my parents with me. It's better weather. I want to do Hollywood. Oh, Elgin Baylor and Jerry West are there. So I think I might get some rings too. So send me there. People need to stop. Moses Malone.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it. The thing is, Mark, we agree on this.
Yeah.
It's the commissioner that's putting them subliminals out now.
It's not even the commissioner, dude. It's not even the commissioner, dog.
It's the owners.
It's the commentators.
And he works for the owners. But
it's the commentators too.
Right, but they got a leg to stand on, because you can't talk about something that ain't really happening. We've seen this movie for the last several years with the load management, guys talking their way out of contract. I'm not saying I agree or disagree, guys. I'm just telling you what the commissioner is saying.
Well,
of course, he works for the owners. So,
right.
Well, he works for the owners first, and then the players second.
And they lost $10 million last year.
Yeah,
we may look at it as, a drop in the bucket, but again, they're in it to make money. The commissioner's in it to see that they make money, and they're just getting tired, guys. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying what the commissioner's saying, and he's saying it ironically during the next CBA coming up.
Right. The only thing the players did do was make sure that the money is split more evenly, and guys who don't make a lot, who in the past didn't make a lot of money, are making a lot of money now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I feel
you won, and now you want to still keep winning in other avenues. I'm just saying what the commissioner is saying.
Somebody has to somebody's going to have to concede and give up something, whether it's the
So
players or it's the owners.
So
I don't agree.
you okay with players being like wasting away their most productive years in a franchise that just only wants to sell tickets and is not really interested in putting the best opportunity for this player to win. They just want to sell tickets, sell jerseys. So it's okay to parade this circus animal out there because he sells tickets, he sells jerseys, and I'm not really interested in winning. And
Some
the
owners
players,
aren't
They doing that in New
interested.
York, bro.
the players just have to suffer.
But,
They
players
doing
no,
that in New York.
but here's a good point, Bishop. What you're saying. 95% of the time is when you got drafted by said team.
Correct.
They even bargained that where the rookie contract is not 5-6 years no more. So after your third year, you have a chance to become a free agent. So again, the ball is back in your court when it's supposed to be in your court. What he's getting at is, I got a contract, but I want to opt out. Like you becoming a free agent overnight. That's kind of, I understand what Bishop's saying.
That's also what you negotiate.
Right.
Most majority of NBA players get all their money.
So
some push some of the money back.
Right.
But not every owner is in the best interest of the fans and trying to win.
Right.
Take a team like Cleveland. LeBron goes there, they ascend, they get a couple of championships, he leaves, they fall back to being a bad team that they are because Cleveland is a hard city to sell to a big name free agent. The only way they're gonna ever become good is if they draft the right players, which they've done the past 3 years. And they got a decent coach. I don't like the coach, but he seems to have that team going forward. Team like OKC, small market team, they got a nice rabid fan base. They're only gonna win unless they draft another KD and another Westbrook, and they have the right coach. Teams like LA will always get the best player, which they've always done. Boston will always be a good team because they're a well-run franchise. The Knicks, on the other hand, have a dumbass owner who hires dumbass GMs, who hire dumbass coaches, who hire bum-ass players. Why you quiet?
You can't argue it. I mean,
Can't argue that one.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's been this way forever, guys. Other than the Knicks, which are like the oddballs out because you're in a major market.
To be different.
Yeah, the Knicks are the anomaly in that because,
like
you said, you could sell LA because of not only the way they run it, but all the other parts of it.
Right.
And what you should be able to sell New York on, you no longer can. It's just not enough.
Well, even Shaq said it. He said, "I like New York, but it's too fucking cold in the winter. I'm not playing there." Mm-hmm. And we got taxes. That's another thing.
Yeah,
everybody's not built to play in New York though, so they can talk whatever they want to talk. A lot of these players are not built. It takes a certain kind of player. Play in New York.
Look at how tough you talk in New York. A lot of players don't want to come to New York because of that, and because of the media here. We tear players to shreds.
Yeah, because you don't get an opportunity to like soft it out or whatever. Certain players can.
Let me ask you this though, because that's been a long-standing, across the board, whether it's basketball or baseball. But we live in a different time where there's internet, there's shows that are all national. When there was a local situation, the New York newspapers and the beat writers were very tough. But now you're talking about, ESPN has 100 shows talking about, so it doesn't matter where you play. They're talking about players in every market. So I think that's lost a little bit of that status of, well, you got to be tougher to play in New York. Yes, the fan base is rabid, but there are other rabid fan bases. But the internet is all over the place, and so we're on here and we're talking about not a New York team in the playoffs, and we're talking about this on social media. So I think that part of it, that element of it, is a dying excuse, and it's covering up some other reasons.
That's valid.
I gotta
Well,
correct you. I gotta correct you on one thing. You said.
Yeah.
Frankie is in the Final Four.
Right. Oh,
Yes.
I gotta address that.
Yeah. He's there.
But to Dave's point, it don't help that your team has lost 360 something games in 8 years.
Right.
I don't give a shit where your location is, because we already see it now, guys. There's guys in small markets that are getting endorsements. Shit, Zion Williamson got endorsements and he ain't played in like 6 years. So that part of the Mecca and the endorsements, that's out the window now. Yeah.
Slim Fast.
That's out the window now. You can't sell the Mecca and then sell, well, we got 360 losses.
Right.
And we got to
that's kind of like an if and an end.
Yeah.
Let's move on, fellas. I gotta address Frank Nicolina. Knick fans. Yes, Frank is playing decently, but Frank is playing 10, 15 minutes a night. He's doing one thing. I need you to come in for a couple of minutes. I need you to lock this guy down. Can you do that? And he does it. He's still turning down jump shots. As me and Dom say, he's still averaging 5, 5, and 5.
Or 2.5 and 5.
Consistently.
Right. He listen, he's never gonna be a star. He's a role player and he will always be 7th or 8th guy. Jason Kidd been doing a great job as a coach. Cones, CP3.
Cones. That was hilarious.
Oh,
that was hilarious.
Listen, Phoenix should have closed the series out when they had the chance. As the series progressed, Chris Paul got tired and he became Cones. And Ayton, I don't know, bro. You blew your money because you should have been one of the most dominant players in this series, and he chose not to be.
Wow.
But when they went to him, he did what he had to do. It's like they got stuck on the Chris Paul Booker show. And then when that got shut down, remember, guys, if I'm not mistaken, they were up 2 games to nothing.
Right. Jason Kidd started blitzing Booker. He started sending 2 people at him, making him move the ball early where he didn't want to, and nobody else on Phoenix is equipped except for maybe CP3 to share some of the scoring load, and Ayton didn't. And CP3, the last 2 games, he just couldn't shoot.
And he did the limping off hamstring routine like LeBron with the fake cast. That didn't help either. I mean, I don't want to say the poor guy is cursed, but it is what it is. They had some bizarre stat where he's like 0-4, went up 2-0. Some crazy stat that they was throwing out about Chris Paul and closeout games. It's very now. Granted, again, this is where we get twisted. We forget that he's 101 years old because he'll have his spurts, but then everybody says, well, you know what he's gonna do, and at the end of the day, he gets the same result. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm not taking nothing away from him, but at the end of the day, he fizzles out. See, somebody just put it 0-5, went up 2-0 in the series. Yeah. Then I wish he would research the closeout games, his record in closeout games.
Right. Oh, I gotta address
bad.
I gotta address something else. Skip Bayless, the idiot. He says he got his information from a notorious crackhead, Lil Wayne, who was sitting near the Phoenix bench, who claimed,
Lil Wayne,
as Bishop would say, allegedly that Monty and Ayton got into it. Now, you're a journalist. Is Lil Wayne's word really valid? That's not a Phoenix source. That's not a Phoenix player. That's not a Phoenix coach. That's not Ayton or Monty Williams. Lil Wayne, a notorious crackhead.
First of all, you use journalist in a...
Oh, I forgot. Skip ain't a journalist.
Right. I mean, you already messed that up. But again, guys, at the end of the day, We're gonna have 100 different stories of why they didn't win, and at the end of the day, Dallas just made better adjustments. Nobody could stop Luka.
Yo, he was
Jalen
laughing all
Brunson,
night.
Jalen Brunson became this. You saw what he was doing to Chris Paul, right? They didn't know who to put Chris Paul on. They put him on Brunson. He was backing him down like he was a power forward.
As Patrick Beverly eloquently said, Combs.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it is what it is. I mean, and then again, the guy is what, 37 years old?
37.
That's what they said. They said today he turns 37 on the 6th. Okay. And they showed his stats like before 37 and after 37. It was hilarious. I mean, I know I don't think it means anything, but it was just funny. It was like the clock struck and to turn back into a pumpkin.
I'm not a Mavericks fan. I'm not really. Luka's a great player. Hopefully he gets better. Luka bust their ass. Yeah. Plain and simple.
Yeah, he did.
He had 27 points at the half, and so did Phoenix.
He was ahead of them in all the stats, points, assists, rebounds. He led them in everything.
Oh, I saw something. Allegedly, Booker is seeing one of them Kardashians. You know that.
Oh, well, there it is.
Dinner thoughts. That's why.
There it is.
Curse remains.
He just got locked down, man. And you know what? This is what Kid has preached all year.
Yeah.
Right.
Defense, switch, stay with your man. You could see him on the sideline like he was a cheerleader. Yeah. But they brought him.
What have I said before about Jason Kidd that he could coach? Everybody look at his record and he can coach.
He just had some outside stuff, that.
Well, he does.
But he's making it work now. This is his first year, right? First year with Dallas. Right.
Listen,
finals.
Every team he coached when he's put in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So if that's not indicative of a person who can't coach, I don't know what it is.
That ain't hard to do in the NBA, man. Half the damn league makes the playoffs. Shit. But Dom, I'm just joking.
But Dom, if you go to the playoffs 2 years in a row, why would I fire you?
Because it's always something with him, though. Remember, he balked his way out of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he balked his way out of Milwaukee.
Well, he tried to make power plays in both cities.
Right.
He wanted to be a GM and a coach.
And now he's got, Mark Cuban, who, will burn bridges to help his team. I don't like him personally, but the way he runs his franchise, he gives the coach what they need. And you got to make it happen. And he did. I mean, it shocked me, guys. I got to pull for Dallas going to the championship. I'm sorry. I had a couple of cups of coffee in Texas, so I'm going to have to go geographically. And I just like the way they play, man. I like Jalen Brunson. He's a tough little guy, man. And he proved it. And he's only 6'1". And he was backing guys down like he was fucking Anthony Mason. Did have big enough for 3 cups.
He is a headicus. Him and his son.
Yes, he is.
Remember his son, TJ?
Yo, hell.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about nobody's kid.
All right, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but
the boy did have a big ass head, though.
Yeah.
No shame.
Yeah. It's like
I've been told I have a big nose. I mean, I got to live with it.
It's like Pinky in the brain.
Yeah, but I think I hope they get by Golden State. I want to see something different. Yeah. That's all. I'm tired of seeing the same shit.
Well, we're gonna get something different.
Golden State beat Memphis 4-2. Even if Ja was still there, I think Golden State would have took the series.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I like Memphis.
Yeah,
I'm happy for them as a franchise.
Yeah.
Risk and Grind is back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we look at Memphis like, they had this 20-year of garbage. They've always been a pretty good team, hard-nosed. So now, and this is what I always say with these guys on Twitter, with their crazy spaces, how long can you hold on to this when you look at when these guys become free agents? That's going to be the telling tale. Do they want to stay? Do they want to go to brighter lights, bigger cities, whatever? It looks nice now, though the glass slipper came off. How you hold on to all of these players?
You have to keep Ja happy first, and then everybody else. Whoever he likes, you have to probably keep. Anybody?
I think they just caught lightning in a bottle, and when they went up against a better team,
the coach isn't a bad coach.
Yeah, I'm not saying they ain't good, but I just think they.
It's one to grow
like
on.
Phoenix did last year. They basically did what Phoenix did last year, except Phoenix made it to the finals. Young team, young coach, good position players, point guard, this, that, and the other thing. They basically mirrored what Phoenix did, but glass slipper came off Phoenix too, and it really came off them this year. Woo.
Right. Yeah. I think Klay Thompson, not playing a full season and coming back when he did, helped this team out. Wiseman isn't playing; he's injured. He would have been a nice piece to have.
Yeah, but he's another one. What has he really got to offer? We haven't seen him in, a month of Sundays. And Dallas don't really play no big man game. You got to get out there and check these guys. Whether you like Dallas or not, you got to get out there and check these guys. And we're talking about Frank Ntilikina, but Reggie Bullock is doing what they brought Reggie Bullock to do.
Right.
3-and-D, shoot the outside shot.
Right.
And wow.
Who wasn't
they
for
didn't
some
reinvent
reason.
The wheel.
Right. Who for some reason wasn't good enough to keep here. And I said that's the piece we should have kept.
Yep. And that's a front office thing because, again, everybody wants to badmouth Thibodeau. Thibodeau wanted to keep him. They decided we're going to go with offense, pure offense, with Fournier over Bullock. And we all know Fournier ain't going to give you no defense. He did set the record for Knicks' three-point percentage this year, but that's all he does. No knock against him. Hey, you go with what you best at. But that was a bad move, getting rid of Bullock, and look what he's doing with Dallas. He ain't changed his game, did he, guys? I mean, unless I'm missing something. He didn't change who he was. He's still the same Reggie Bullock.
Nope. Who do y'all have in this series?
I'm going with Dallas.
I think Golden State.
Reggie Bishop.
Bishop fell asleep.
I'm going with Golden State.
Damn, R woke up. Damn.
Golden State. Golden State.
Golden State.
Who you got, Mark?
Golden State.
I'm the only one picking Dallas. Where did Bishop go?
He probably fell asleep.
Yeah.
That's all right. Probably fell asleep.
Who y'all got? Miami versus Boston.
Miami.
I think Miami.
I'm gonna go with the upset, Boston.
Yeah, I'm going with Boston too.
Boston's actually favored.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say I wouldn't call it an upset, but
no.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're favored. Miami was the best team in the East. I mean, weren't they the number one seed?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
But so Dom, would you pay Victor Oladipo? Well, he's gonna get paid by somebody.
What's he gonna get paid? That's the catch-22. But again, speaking of Reggie Bullock, speaking of Oladipo, he's doing what he's always done. Maybe on not as high post as he was, but he's still doing what he does. And he's playing for Miami.
Yep.
For some reason, you go to Miami and you become a Heat player and you just fit right in. Sort of like how San Antonio used to be. You're going to fall in line and you're going to play the way. And he's done pretty good, man. I mean, I got to give him credit after all the injuries.
Right. I didn't think he really fit on Miami, but Spoelstra, we said Spoelstra is a really good coach, and he found a role for him. He's still a really good offensive player and a good defensive player, and he moves the ball. He's a solid secondary passer with the ball. So I think Miami has the better wings than Boston.
Okay.
Miami has Jimmy Butler.
Right.
They have Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's gonna. Hey, say what you want about him, but Man, he's not a 3-point shooter.
No.
He'll shoot it every now and then, but you're getting what you pay for with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, yeah.
You may not like him getting in your face and being that alpha dog, but that's who you signed up for, and he's been very successful at it. I mean, wasn't he on? He was on Miami when they went to the finals.
Yeah.
When they lost in the bubble.
Right.
He was damn near the entire team that year.
Right. I have to disagree with Lowry. He hasn't done anything for the Heat. Statistically, no, but he does what they need.
Right.
Needs them to play a little defense, move the ball, make an occasional shot. He's not the player he was in Toronto, but he fits on Miami.
Not for that money either. But you know what? Miami. Lowry goes down. Spoelstra and Riley go into some back room, pull out this guy you never heard of before, and the train just keeps moving.
Yep.
I don't know how they do it. I hate Miami. I hate Miami and Boston, so it's kind of hard for me to pick anybody. But look at how they do things, guys.
I think Miami.
Well, good owner stays out the way. Lets Pat Riley do his job. Pat Riley allows
Spoelstra to do his
job. And Spoelstra's teams are always prepared. It's rare that you're going to say that Spoelstra's team wasn't prepared.
Right.
If they get beat, they get beat.
Right.
It ain't like they didn't put their best foot forward.
Yep.
We're going to move on to R and Dom's favorite person.
Kyrie
Irving lost his Nike signature sneaker deal.
Along with his mind.
I think the mind went first.
Yeah. Nike just caught up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry.
No. You keep it real. I enjoyed you just coming on my post, and he was like, yo, we New York baseball teams is what we should be talking about now.
Exactly.
But
he should have been lost. Well,
go ahead, R.
I was gonna say he should have been lost his deal with Nike.
When he said the earth was flat.
Yeah, I go back as far as that. I'm just like, this guy's he's a clown, man. But Mac, you had said something about what he should have did. You know what I'm saying? Like in the spirit of Dinwiddie and who else did you say?
Starberry. Listen,
Starberry.
Yeah.
They said they cut his deal because of lack of him being on the court. He still has one of their highest selling sneakers, so I don't see the reason. I didn't see the reason for cutting him, but again, I do because he's messy publicly.
Yeah,
what he should do. You've made enough money. Now is the time. You always talk about black business and black estate. Go start your own sneaker company, Kyrie. Here's the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, because I think I agree with you, Mac. The excuse of him not being on the court. I mean, Zion's sneaker sell. When was the last
Michael
time
Jordan ain't been on the court?
And that's what that was my next move was that Jordan. I mean, I kind of put Zion first because Jordan is a different thing. It's more about the culture nowadays. But I was going to say Jordan too, but definitely Zion hasn't played. But I agree with you, Mac. I think that he's a big enough name that he could do something like you said.
Right.
Oh boy. But I think he just gets in his own way, man.
He does.
I don't know what it is. I'm not saying because you make this much money or whatever the case may be, but somehow, some way, Cleveland, Boston, Brooklyn. I mean, somehow, some way it comes right back to Kyrie Irving. And he wants to sit there with a year in college and he's supposed to be some philosopher for everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say shut up and dribble. I just want you to shut up. Sometimes just shut up. You want to be a martyr like this is war. You don't, come on, man. Just put your best foot forward for what they're paying you for. And so far, guys, he hasn't done that. And I'm not just talking about the Nets. I'm not a Knicks fan that hates the Nets. He just, I mean, come on, guys. How many times have we had this conversation about him? If it ain't one thing, it's another or another or another.
That's what your favorite person says, Stephen A. Smith. He said he's not talking about the COVID situation. He's just talking about everything other than that. And if you can't be on the court to perform, barring the vaccination situation, I mean, come on, man. It's time's up, bro.
Yeah.
Time's up.
Because even with the vaccination thing, I'm not knocking your hustle, but
right.
You got 14 other players that we came here for a purpose, and you're the only one that's going to be this. I'm speaking up for the voiceless, while the voiceless are getting vaccinated.
Yeah,
you're sitting here speaking up for somebody that ain't even talking no more. But all the other players said, you know what? Whether they liked it or not, we came here for a reason. We came here to play ball. We came here to try to get Brooklyn a championship.
Right.
And one player said, I want to be a martyr. I want to speak up. You want to speak up for everybody, Kyrie. Why don't you just speak up for Brooklyn?
The front office messed that up long ago, bro.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, front office. Yeah, I mean, we can't put all the blame on him. If some of the best trades made are the ones that aren't made, and you shouldn't have traded those pieces for any of those two dudes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that too. Going back that far, Red. You right.
Going back that far, you blew up a team. You blew up a pretty decent team. What? The bubble was only 2 years ago.
Yeah. Listen, they didn't like him and KD did not like the coach because that coach was going to hold them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Nash can't even hold himself accountable to coach defense. So
again, you knew what you were getting when you got this.
Exactly, bro.
But then again, 2 minutes after you got this guy, his introduction was, Kyrie, we really don't need no coach. We could coach ourselves. We'll be the coaches on the floor. Always something with him. And then he's got the nerve to say, since you didn't play 75% of the year, me and KD are going to sit down with ownership and we're going to figure this out moving forward. No, bruh. We tried that for you Net fans out there. You tried that. You tried giving them a voice in the room.
Right. We know they
wanted
Nash.
This is what you got.
But that wasn't a smart move.
But you know what's crazy? Nash has a shoe deal and Kyrie doesn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let me ask you this, Dave. Is Nash coming to practice? Yo, you see my new kicks? They just came out yesterday. How's the Nike deal, Kyrie?
Right? Exactly.
You know what's a better question, though? What does Brooklyn do with him?
Listen, they are in salary cap hell because this will be the second or third year they go into the luxury tax. You got to pay KD. You got to pay Kyrie. Steph Curry is under contract. You got to pay. You either got to let Claxton leave or you got to pay him. Harris is under contract. Patty Mills is under contract.
I'd be looking for, if I was a GM, I'd be looking at whatever team wants this dude. If LA want him, they could have him.
LeBron don't want him again.
Here's the catch.
You heard what Kyrie said, though, right?
No, what do you say now, Dave?
Oh, his latest thing where he talked about he's like in regret now and said that when he made the move and left, he wasn't mature and because he's realizing now that it was hard what LeBron did. And
it was easy with LeBron James.
Yeah. I'm saying it was hard. It was hard for anybody else like Kyrie to do. Kyrie thought it was easy,
right?
But it was hard for Kyrie.
Kyrie must have forgot the Cleveland years before LeBron came back.
Yeah.
You got your points, but the team sucked.
Mm-hmm.
You went to Boston, and the dude was looking at you like, no, I'm not. Stop, bro. You're not a winner. And he left. The last game he played, it was a lot of missed shots, and he turned it into a soccer game, with all the turnovers he had. And you come here, and your last game in the playoffs, same thing. 3 for 13 with 5 points and 8 turnovers. That's disgusting. If I see you on Flatbush Avenue, I'm yelling at you.
Kyrie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Y'all want to move on?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Just one more thing, Mark. What happens if he decides to opt out because he wants a longer year deal? Like, okay, I could opt out because I want an extension for 3-4 years. Then what do the Nets do?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant extending the year so that he can play 81 games and take him 1,000 days.
The Nets have to let Claxton go because they can't afford to keep him, and then they got to sign somebody else to play that position at a lesser deal.
But do
and
you
they got to
give
move some other
Kyrie?
pieces.
What I'm saying is, if Kyrie opts out because he wants longer years on his contract, do you re-sign him?
Hell no.
They have no choice.
If he opts out, because he can opt out.
He has all the momentum. They
Right.
stuck in a corner like a mouse.
But if he opts out, the Nets don't have to pay him. He could go somewhere else and get a longer term deal. What I'm saying is, if he tries to hold the Nets hostage, where okay, I want a max contract for the next 4 years, or I'm going to go somewhere else, and the Nets say, "What? Are you willing to give this guy 3-4 more years at a super max?"
So dumb. Would you give him 2 years at the max?
No, I'm thinking this would be nothing. If I was in that organization and he pulled that, I would say, "Man, did I get a get out of jail free card?" Exactly. Go on now. Tell me how it works out.
I give him a Metro card.
Listen, as messy as he is, Chris, and y'all, as messy as somebody will pay him. He's been paid before. He'll get paid.
Yeah. Well,
James Harden is still getting a contract. He's gonna get a contract.
Let him go explore that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bye-bye.
It will be a get out of jail free card.
I'm in agreement with you guys, but we know it's Kyrie Irving.
How old is Kyrie now?
30.
Approaching 30. Time is ticking.
Where's the eject button?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one thing we could say about him, his age don't measure up because he's missed so many games. He's probably got the, body of a 25-year-old because he's never on the court for 82 games. So, but I would just think the Nets. I don't know. Ours a Net fan. Would you take that get out of jail free card and say, okay?
Nah, I take that get out of jail free card. No question. There's no doubt about it. Right. I'm done.
Let's move on to what Dom and David came here for.
Oh.
New York Yankees in first place in the AL East and in the major leagues, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. They won again tonight.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I'm playing Baltimore.
18 out of 21.
So the floor is open, gentlemen. Baseball, we haven't talked about it extensively.
It's not extensively, but we touched on it.
I do want to talk about the Mets and the Yankees because the city is alive right now.
What's scary about the Yankees? Right. What's scary about the Yankees? I don't think anybody thought they would pitch this good.
You're right.
And as I speak about pitching, Severino pitched 6 innings, 1 run. Is he coming back? He's had some good outings. As somebody put up, Nestor. I'll tell you what, guys. The last time I looked, and I will look it up when somebody else is talking, I think they were second in ERA, first in batting average against. I mean, even me as a Yankee fan, I wasn't expecting that. So I'm looking at it now where even if they fell off a little bit, they still should be able to maintain.
They're first in ERA.
Wow.
Yep. Fourth in batting average against, fourth in walks per hits.
Second in complete games, third in shutouts, third in saves.
And the scary thing is, I never thought they would be anywhere near 9th in batting average. We had this discussion a million times, home run or bust.
Yeah.
Though they do got some guys that are hitting home runs, they're 9th in batting average, 5th in on-base percentage, 3rd in runs. They are first in home runs, don't get me wrong, but
Yep.
like I said, even if they slip a step here, a step there, I'll tell you what, guys, just me, and I'm a Yankee fan. You know that. I'm not a Yankee fan that hates the Mets because I'm proud of what the Mets are doing. But I never in my wildest dreams, if the Mets were pitching this good, I would say, okay. And you know what? The Mets, who's up
Pitching
there in
very
all of
good.
these pitches, right? And they're missing DeGrom. So if DeGrom could come back, it's like you got another starter at the trade deadline.
Yep.
I tell you what, guys, I picked the Mets to win the AL East before the season started. I will stand on that. I didn't think Atlanta would be able to do what they did. People don't realize how much Freddie Freeman meant to that team.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Big
And
loss.
you was just in Atlanta, Dave. I mean,
Yeah, I'm still here.
yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
makeup now, you know. And I think Freddie Freeman, I had this conversation with somebody. When they re-signed those two young players, Freddie Freeman was thinking probably 2 steps ahead. Atlanta's never been into spending a lot of money. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Yep.
Freddie said, I could go to the Dodgers where they don't give a damn about how much money they spend. And I could move on with my life. And he's from California.
Yep.
I don't think Atlanta thought 2 steps ahead when they gave those two young kids that money, because all you was like saying to yourself, Freddie might be the odd man out. And guess what? I'm just gonna stay on my ground. I picked the Mets to win the AL East because I thought they had the better team.
Right.
And I know they had the better pitching.
Right. So let me ask both of you. Aaron Judge is him and Giancarlo been cracking. You pay Aaron Judge?
7 years, not 10. Not 10. He's too old. Yeah, he's too old.
He's 30.
He's 30 years old already.
You would give him 7? I would give him 6.
6. I was gonna say, Mark, 6 or 7. I ain't giving him 10.
No,
I'm sorry.
Them days are
I love
over.
you. Yeah. But I'll say this because again, I have conversations about baseball all the time. When you look at the guys that got those 10-year, 11-year contracts, they were the Tatises, the Trout back then.
Right.
Even though I'm talking about recently, where everybody basically got shut down with the 10-year contracts, except now Trout had his before that. So Trout will still be in like 36 years old. Tatis is still young.
Yeah.
So when you compare the guys that already got it,
did Lindor get a 10-year? Lindor got a 10-year.
Lindor,
He's 27.
Exactly. So even at 9 years, he'll be 36. He may not be the shortstop he is today, but that being said, if you could stretch it out till at least the guy is 35, you got your money's worth. Let's be honest. You got your money's worth.
Right. And you
I think
hope
Judge is just too old.
Right. And between there and 35, you go to the playoffs and you get into the World Series at least once.
Exactly. But that being said, you're right, Mark. I would really like to see 6 years. And you know what? I brought this up, I think, to y'all. With somebody else. The Yankees actually offered him more money than they've ever offered a position player on their final contract, where he said, I'll wait. They offered him more money than they've offered any position player. We're talking A-Rod, Jeter, all of these guys that had these $25 million contracts for 5 years, 6, whatever the hell it was. He still would have been the highest position player in Yankee history. But he wants them years. I understand where he's coming from. He wants, some sort of longevity.
Wants to stay in New York.
But I just don't think he's doing the math in his head. You've been injury prone. Let's just keep it real. You've had some injuries. You're 30 years old. You play the outfield.
You play
hell
right
of an
field.
outfielder. Yeah, hell of an outfielder. Don't get me wrong. But is he going to be Roberto Clemente when he's 37 years old? I don't think so. I'm just saying, I'm a Yankee fan. I love Judge. I want them to keep him, but at what price and how many years? I don't think he did the math in his head, fellas.
Right.
He better take that money.
Go ahead.
He is a California kid. So
see, I'll say this. I think Judge is phenomenal, but I don't know that he gets that type of money from me because I'm looking at it beyond just him playing. I think the Yankees, they're the type of franchise that they don't have any problem replacing people. And what I mean, finding that talent. There's always players that are going to want to come to play for the Yankees. It's not just we talked earlier about the whole New York thing. They'll get talent. So even if they didn't bring him back or give him what he wants, I think that the Yankees are that good of a team and a franchise that they wouldn't go through a drought if they lost him. Whereas with the Mets, they're attractive now because Buck has them playing really well, and they just look like a team that graduated from high school and now is in post secondary. Just with their knowledge of the game and so forth, and they're becoming more attractive because the Mets are a team now that you're seeing on nationally, and people are paying attention to what's happening in Queens. But they're also still the type of team that if they lost a big name, it might take them a while to try to replace that player with someone of that caliber. So I look at them still. They're not on the Yankees level in terms of that. Right. These aren't the Mets teams of the 80s where, the way they were run and people wanted to come to play for them because they had a chance that they really should have won more than they did. But they through injuries and bad management. Yeah, injuries. 87, they were decimated, and the Cardinals, won it. And then 88, they should have, but they ran into a buzzsaw named Oral Hershiser. So, and then after that point, guys, they broke
like
up
Darryl Strawberry said, y'all gave my money to Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah. So, and we all saw what happened. What was it, 92 with Vince Coleman and oh God, yeah. So, but to segue into the Mets, I'm very happy with what they're doing. I think they're also fortunate that, like you guys talked earlier, Freeman, the Braves are definitely missing Freddie Freeman. I was, got the chance to see them personally, last Friday, and I forgot that Freeman was gone. And so then I'm watching it, and I said, something is missing here. And, the fan base is still rabid, but something is definitely missing here. And then I realized, Freeman isn't here. That's right. So I think some guys just have certain intangibles about them that put that team over the top. And I think that Acuna was his name, and Albies, the talents, absolutely. But Freddie Freeman had some veteranship about him that I think really is what made that team a champion last year.
Right.
So,
well, you know what?
They say he's a great clubhouse guy.
Right.
Yeah, and you can't downplay that.
No, especially when you got young players.
Yep.
I will say this before you get started, Mac. If the Red Sox continue to go down this slippery slope, if the Mets get J.D. Martinez, they'll win the NL. They'll win the NL.
Right. I was going to say, Reggie has said that sometimes you don't make trades. Sometimes you don't make certain moves.
Trade, yeah.
Like in 86, the Mets let the heart and soul go in Ray Knight and Kevin Mitchell. Two guys they should have kept, and they brought in nice guys.
Right. When they brought in Kevin McReynolds and
I don't care about that. I don't care about somebody being good or nice.
Right.
Can you play? Do you fit the clubhouse? Are you going to give me 110%? One of the guys on Facebook said Max Scherzer was not going to be good this year. So far, he's been awesome.
Yeah.
As Carl said, he's a bulldog.
Yeah.
And you got what you got. Come on, guys. Just because he wasn't on the Mets or the Yankees, it ain't like we didn't follow this guy.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Really, I mean, I'm pretty sure if baseball wasn't the way they are today, Max Scherzer would pitch 9 innings.
Yes,
You'd
he
have
would.
to come out there and whoop his ass off the mound.
Yeah.
But because of the way baseball is nowadays, and like I said, God help the National League. If the Yankees, I mean, if the Mets get DeGrom back and they steal Martinez,
Right.
I'll go from saying NL East to the NL.
I heard
saying.
DeGrom is he's active now doing some baseball things. He's throwing on level ground right now, not throwing hard.
So God help him. God help the National League if he comes back. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and we can't hear you, David. Can't hear you. Your sound went out. I was gonna say that look how the Mets fan base has flipped on Lindor. Last year they weren't really feeling him. Now it's all love. We still can't hear you, David.
Can you hear us, Dave?
It's the cheap Wi-Fi.
They done cut his hotel Wi-Fi off.
Reg, you got anything to say about the Yankees and the Mets?
Listen, as far as the Mets is concerned, it's still early for them, bro.
Yeah.
You talk to me in July. I'll get back to you.
But see, this is what I want Met fans to get away from. What happened in the past.
I want to get away from it too. Prove me wrong.
The key to proving you wrong and proving you wrong early, Reg, not to say I disagree with you. You know I love you.
Right.
Buck Showalter is that much of a difference. You ever see the way he looks in the dugout? Like, I dare you not to do what I just said. And I'm going upside somebody's head with a bat, a golf club, something. He is the difference. Besides their talent that they have, he is the difference when it comes to managing. Because you look at him and you look how fast the wheels are coming off Joe Girardi in Philly. Them wheels are coming off him.
Oh,
they done blew, 35 run leads. Pitching staff ain't shit. You don't know if Bryce Harper's gonna play. And his decision making, he ain't Buck Showalter, guys. I don't care if he won the last Yankee ring. He is not Buck Showalter.
You're 100% right. But what I say about the Mets, and I'll be joking when I say it because I root for the New York teams. Don't get me wrong. My whole thing is this. Injuries play a whole part to the season.
Yes.
I think a catcher just went down for the Mets, if I'm not mistaken, McCann or something. What's his name?
Yeah, McCann has an injury.
He's out for like 6 weeks or something like that, I think. That's all I'm saying. If they break that cycle, and I hope that it is. I hope the cycle is broken. Don't get me wrong. But they got to prove that to me, man. Yeah, well, I mean, the Mets will be right here. And again, this is in the past. They'll be right there. Then July come around, August come around. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, well, we had bad managers,
bad ownership,
and bad ownership. We got an owner now who wants to spend money. He spent a ton of money this season.
Right.
New GM made right moves. He hired the right manager. Like Dom said, I'm against certain analytics, and Buck is not the most analytical manager. He uses them, but he's not the most analytical manager. He's managing off of feel and some of the analytics.
He's no Brett Boone.
No.
Aaron Boone, I mean, I'm sorry. Aaron Boone.
I'll tell you, Buck Showalter is at least, just Buck Showalter, is at least 30 wins.
Okay.
By himself. By himself. With his decision making, he's 30 wins.
So you think the Mets are a 100-win team?
Possibly.
95, 90?
Whatever it takes to win the National League East, they're going to have it.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. Because I'm looking at them other teams, and I'll tell you what, unless you don't watch baseball, Philadelphia can't pitch. They're not the greatest defensive team.
Right.
And their bats and Joe Girardi not pulling the right triggers. I mean, damn, man, just look what the Mets did to them. What was it, last week? 7 runs in the last inning because he didn't know how to pull the trigger on this and that. The Mets have exposed Philly so far almost all year. And
who's in the
Philly.
second place in the National League East?
Who?
I'm asking who?
I think it's Atlanta. Hold on.
And also, the Mets got a big series
Philadelphia
this week against St. Louis.
Yeah. The good thing about the National League East, even though Philly's in second, the Mets are the only team above 500.
Wow.
And they only got 13 losses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Phillies are 17.
they're tied for the best record in the National League.
Right. The Phillies are 17-18. The Marlins are 16-19. The Braves 16-20. The Nationals have fell off. They 12-25. Okay.
But that's what's so scary, because if their records stay that way, like below 500 and stuff like that, when the Mets play them, they tend to play down to those teams.
Right. So Dom, I know you and David watch more baseball than I do. What do you think of the Brewers? They 23-13. They're gonna fall off.
They got a good team. I'll tell you who I'm thinking are the dark
Who's in that
horses
division
in
with Milwaukee?
Oh man, it's stacked.
Cardinals, Pirates,
Cardinals.
Cubs, and Reds.
Cubs, they all fell off. But I'll tell you who my 2 dark horses are in each league: Milwaukee and the Los Angeles Angels.
Okay.
How's Syndergaard doing?
Oof.
Thor.
He's doing all right. I mean, first of all, let's not
the Angels
forget.
are 24-14.
Yeah, let's not forget. They finally got a healthy Trout, and he's doing Trout type of stuff. And you got that guy that does everything except sell hot dogs. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm not going to mess it up.
Ohtani?
Y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah. I ain't going to mess his name up.
Calling the Big O.
Yeah. Syndergaard is 3-1, 2.45 ERA.
Not bad.
His whip is 106. Oof. I thought that would hurt the Mets.
So did I.
Which it will, but it sure as hell helped the Angels.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're my dark horse in the American League. Milwaukee, I don't know, because I don't know if they're better than the Mets.
Or even better than the Cardinals.
Right. I was going to say maybe even better than the Cardinals. They're not better than the Dodgers, San Diego,
or the Padres.
Probably not even San Francisco. Yeah.
No.
You got that. The American League, the National League West, if I'm not mistaken, guys. I'm going to look it up right now. Yep.
They're all like 4 games apart.
They're all 500 or better. Everyone in that division. Even Colorado. Now, we know they're probably going to slip. But everybody else is at or above 500. Only division in baseball. And then you look at the Mets. The Mets are the only ones in their division above 500. So I'm not saying the National League has gotten a little soft, but this might be the perfect storm for the Mets.
And the Mets have started the season winning every series, which is great.
I think they just lost their first series. Yeah.
Yeah, they just lost their first one this weekend.
Dave is back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Mets were the last team in baseball to lose a series.
Yep.
You know, before I cut out, I think you guys were talking about the mindset. It's still early. It's definitely early, and we're cautiously optimistic, but it's the same date on the calendar for every team.
Absolutely.
And baseball is overused, but it is a marathon. And there are some teams that run the gamut from April to October, but that's rare. So a month or two from now, we may be talking about some other teams, and the Mets might fall back to the pack, or a month or two from now, they look like they're running away with the division. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but it kind of bothers me that that's always the default. If the Mets are hot early, rather than giving them credit, because we've all played basically the same amount of games, it would take a couple of games, rather than getting that credit for it, it's the Mets and we'll see. Well, every year is different. And they're defending champion Atlanta Braves, but everybody starts from zero. So what you did in the past doesn't matter. And Buck Showalter, for the first time in a long time, they have, like Dom always talks about the adults in the room. They have an adult at the helm who looks like he knows what he's doing with this team. And so, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on this. And I think that it's not a championship or bust situation. I think they're capable of winning it all, but if they don't, I still think they're capable of having a very entertaining and strong season. And at least we're not a team that people come into Citi Field and say, well, that's a win for us. They're not looking at the Mets like they're going to just roll over on them.
Right. Going are the days of losing a series 3-1.
Yeah.
Right. And if you watch baseball, and of course you watch the Mets, if you haven't noticed, and we use it all the time with other teams, if you haven't noticed, the culture of the Mets has changed like overnight. Overnight. We could give a lot of credit to the owner because he's willing to spend the money. But I'll go back to Buck Showalter. You knew what you was getting when you got Buck Showalter. It wasn't no mystery how he was going to act, what he was going to do. You got what you paid for. And so far, like I said, he's good for at least 30, 35 wins by himself.
By himself, yeah. You're not losing because you got outmanaged.
Exactly.
Right.
That ain't happening.
Right. Plus the guys they added to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Scherzer, Kahana, and Marte.
Yeah.
All
Marte's. Yeah.
Escobar. All solid guys. And so
like
what do y'all feel about that?
No, I'm saying even if the Mets, like Dave said, everybody's played the same amount of games. We all started in April. But even if the Mets slip a little in each category, everybody else got to get twice as much better as they are right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's hard to do, guys. I'm not putting no eggs, no cart before the horse.
Right.
But just think about that. In order for the Mets to slip, that means everybody under them got to do 2 times better than where they're at right now.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yep. How do y'all
feel now you're talking
about
winning. You're talking about winning each series. So when teams start looking down the road, like a Philadelphia, for example, and their fan base will say, okay, we got Miami, this one in the next 3 series. That lets me know that you're already thinking about playing catch up. When you're starting to count series down the road, you're thinking about playing catch up already. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry, Mark. What was your question?
What do y'all feel about Cano being let go?
I'm gonna say it like this, and it's so funny because I think I might have pulled a Skip Bayless because initially I was like, please just get rid of him. And then when he was out with the banned substances again, I said, oh, I was good riddance. Then when he came back, I didn't want him back, but then I saw something. Was his connection with the, in the clubhouse and what he meant to a lot of the, Latino players, and I started getting a soft spot for him. So I understood, it was a numbers game, and it was the right move from a baseball standpoint. But I found myself not being as down on him as I was initially. So that's where the Skip Bayless part of me comes out. But it was the right move. And I can't argue with it.
Right.
This is where the Mets have matured.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking a step ahead instead of where they're at right now.
Yeah.
First of all, that money could be used somewhere else. Let's say a JD Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that one bat. I'm stuck on JD Martinez because I see where the Red Sox are going, so they might have a yard sale.
Well, I like it.
Yeah, that you got to give to get, and maybe Cano at his age, his ability right now, he just didn't fit into what the Mets are doing.
Yeah,
it's kind of apparent that you see the direction the Mets are going in.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Buck Showalter is a no-nonsense kind of guy. He ain't going to hold on to you and play you just because you're making $25 million a year. That ain't happening with Buck.
So if they were to pry JD Martinez, you stick him in the outfield or you stick him at DH?
DH, where he's been.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the Mets DH now?
It's a rotation piece.
Yeah, it's a rotation. Sometimes it's Alonso, sometimes it's Smith.
Davis.
I bet ain't none of them better than JD Martinez. Let's just be honest. You can hate the Red Sox, but this guy's a hitter.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He don't play the field. He don't sell popcorn. He just hits. And guess what? He hits.
Yeah.
They need another masher, and he's a masher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in today's baseball, guys, this is where the Mets are kind of confusing people, because the Mets don't have all those mashes.
No, they don't. They got one.
But they're scoring runs. Yeah, they're scoring runs. They're scoring runs, and they're holding you under what they're scoring. Yep. That's a recipe for success. But you had a JD Martinez, who could go to all fields, has power. You ain't got to worry about upsetting the apple cart. Like, okay, I got to play him at third base. That means Mac got to sit down. You don't got to worry about that problem. He's going to be the DH.
Yeah,
whoever the hell the DH was, he ain't going to be the DH no more.
He lengthens the bat in order you can move McNeil back up, because lately McNeil's been batting 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Dom. Is this a name that you're throwing out there, or have you actually heard it being discussed?
I heard somebody talk about it.
Mm-hmm. This is the first I'm hearing it. That's why.
Yeah. Then I started thinking. When I first heard it, I looked at the standings, and I was like, man, at the rate Boston's going, you know how baseball teams do. Come trade deadline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really who's in it. Like, what are the Mets going to offer? What direction are the Red Sox going? Because at the rate they're going now, we already seen the rebuild with the Red Sox. They kind of caught lightning in the bottle last year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. But we saw where they've been going for the last 2-3 years. Once they got rid of Mookie, we saw where they were going with this. Their pitchers can't hold up. So you kind of sort of, and right now, JD, other than Bogarts, is the odd man out. Do you think he's a part of a rebuild? Now, what the Mets do when they get him, do they keep him after this year? That's a decision the Mets will make. But I'm saying for right now, if you got a chance to get him, man, I'd be looking in the farm system right now saying,
he's 34. I would take a fly on.
Oh, yeah.
I give him 2-3 years. He's a DH guy. He's been a DH for like 100 years. It ain't like he's been out there pulling hammies. You're getting what you get with JD Martinez. He's a pure hitter with power. I ain't gonna say he's Trout, but Again, he gives
they
you what
don't
he
need.
gives you.
Yeah,
Right.
and if you look back at the Mets have become a team that even what was it, yesterday's game where they fell short by a run in the ninth inning. It's like the expectation that, okay, they're down. How are they going to come back this time? What they did to the Cardinals a couple weeks ago, and then they did it in Philly. They did it on stringing together hits. I think that Philly comeback against Philly, Marte homered, but in the past, the saying that sometimes a home run is a rally killer. They they've done a good job at putting together hits and clutch. They've been much more clutch, and I think that comes from the mindset of they believe that they can. When they get down, it's almost like they're surprised if they don't come back. And at least as a fan, I'm kind of surprised when they don't come back because they've shown that grit. So the better Mets teams of the past, and of course the number one in that category would be '86. They were just a team that did not quit, and I'm seeing that again because each guy believes that the next guy is going to pick them up.
Right, and they're fun to watch.
They're fun to watch. What did you have? The catcher McCann went down, and then the what was it, Saturday? It was Mazika that hit the go-ahead home run, and then Jankowski has been great for him.
Right.
So
And then you add Buck Showalter to that again, where he ain't putting his head down. So I'll be damned if he's going to allow somebody else to put theirs down.
Absolutely not. He's not going to play for Buck and do that. Yeah. And Buck has enough respect. He's got the demeanor, and he's also got the respect that you're not gonna put your head down around Buck. And he says, okay, well, I'm gonna bench this guy. You're not gonna have ownership going behind his back and saying, because he's earned that.
Let's think about this guy. His his success, even with the Orioles, who were, basically on their way out of Major League Baseball, he at least kept them competitive.
Yeah.
The Orioles, Arizona, the Yankees, he's caught some bad breaks in between.
Right.
But he caught bad breaks because of management. They decided to go in this, I don't want to say tank mode, because I don't know how you tank in baseball, but they didn't want to spend money, and there was Buck. So when it came to getting rid of somebody, well, we got to get rid of Buck.
Right.
He could have won at least 4 World Series with the Yankees.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Because they won 3 or 4 after he left.
That's right.
And he put that team together.
Him and Bob Watson, who doesn't get a lot of credit either.
Yeah, exactly.
And Stick Michael.
Yep.
As long as I've been a Yankee fan, I think that was one of the oddest things I ever saw. I wasn't upset with Girardi. I think Girardi, wore out his welcome mat.
Yeah.
He started thinking he was bigger than the Yankees, and they decided to go in another direction. It's Aaron Boone, he's a good manager. He keeps them afloat. He's just too into the analytics thing. But that being said,
you know what, Dom? I think the front office is more into. He's good with analytics, but I think the front office is more analytics, and they determine how he manages, which doesn't.
Most of them are like that, Mark.
I agree.
Buck Showalter is probably like one of the odd men out.
Yep.
But who's going to challenge Buck Showalter?
Right. That was my point. Yeah.
I could see him now. Guy comes, the ball rotates 3,000 times off his Please get out my face, man.
Yeah.
I don't care about no rotations.
I don't even think he has to say anything. He just look at the guy.
Yeah, exactly. You ever see him on the bench?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Down at the bench.
No, he's
I'm sure he got a 9-iron somewhere next to him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna club you if you say something.
He's got Negan's bat with the spikes wrapped around it.
Yo, with that, fellas, I gotta bid y'all adieu.
Bro.
I got Mac things to do. I know David is tired.
I got a pack. I got a flight in the morning. So.
Oh, you're leaving tomorrow, Dave?
Yeah.
Listen, fly safe, brother.
Thank you.
And maybe I'll see you on Jamaica Ave or on Hillside.
Yeah. While you waiting for your Uber.
Come tap me on my shoulder. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave. Next time you go to Atlanta, hit me up. It's only a 4-hour ride from here.
Oh, really? Okay. You don't mind driving?
He don't care.
No, I know you drive all over the place. Yeah.
I ain't got nothing. I got shit, Dave. I got nothing to do it all day to do it.
Yeah.
Plus,
you're right.
My little play sister lives 15 minutes from the stadium to Marietta.
Oh wow! Yeah.
He's been begging me to come down to see a game ever since our brother passed away. She's been begging me, Dom, when you coming to a game?
Yeah.
And I see you in Atlanta. I'm like, ain't this some shit?
Yeah.
We used to go there, Dave, not to keep y'all awake. We used to go there when they were building the stadium.
Okay.
Because it's right down the street. Because the stadium's in Marietta. It ain't in Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's 15 minutes from her house, Dave.
So I probably parked by the house because it takes you 15 minutes to get to the stadium for the park.
Yeah. And she has a beautiful 3-story townhouse.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice.
She was
I was in Marietta last night.
Yeah, she was a superintendent.
All right. So the next time I'm coming down here, I'll definitely let you know ahead of time.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if I flew, Dave, it's like probably $100 and something round trip.
Oh yeah. So I'll definitely do that because I had I had some time on my hand today. I had nothing to do. I was supposed to go down with my wife, but then she couldn't make it to the last minute. So I'm sitting here by myself. So
What's the town next to Marietta? Dave?
Is it Alpharetta?
It's Alpharetta.
No, damn. It's where I met, what's his name? Coach Sam Mitchell. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't really know unless I just go through it.
Of my tongue too, because he owed me dinner. So yeah, I was down there. I went to Fort Benning for a funeral, and then as I came back, I stood at Pat's house.
Okay.
And they weren't playing baseball at that time. I think it was January. Yeah, it might have been January. I went down to Fort Benning, and I stopped there. I always stop there because it's so nice. And I'm telling you, Dave, 3-4 years ago, man, we was out there taking pictures while they were building the stadium.
While they were building it, yeah. It's a beautiful ballpark. So
I heard.
Yeah. All right. So let's do that. All right, Mac.
Thank you. Mac. Listen, this is the realest show in sports. It's called In the Paint. I'm Mark A. Cunningham, better known as Mac 611. My brother, R. Jones, better known as Big Brother R. He bounced a long time ago.
You better text him, tell him turn his camera off and go to bed.
I want to thank my Tilden brothers, Reggie, Chris. I see you in the chat. Black Action Productions, thank you. Deidre, thank you. My other Tilden brother, Kevin, thank you. My brother, Big Dave, Ray, I see you. My people on YouTube, thank you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's called In the Paint Media Group. Follow me on Twitter at TheRealMac611 and follow R Jones at RJ Jones. Good night. Stay blessed. We'll see you soon. Peace.